Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the patch.
The most different patch we've ever done.
This
This
week
is
with
the differentest.
this week brought to you by Truck Club.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that. This week also, there it is over there. This week also, no desk, just chilling,
We're just chilling.
and also 4 people.
Flopping.
I'm
Look,
chilling.
I really like these beanbag chairs. These
Well,
are super
here's the thing.
And no hourglass.
From Game Club, which we shot
where's
recently,
the
Meg and I
hourglass?
had to switch.
Someone help!
Because there's a giant hole there, and we were hoping the giant divot that has been created in this beanbag would affect Meg less.
Yeah. It's just now you can't see the bottom half of my body. Oh, hey.
Hey!
We need somebody we needed to give that to a giant to just hold up and like punch it until everything's even again.
Redistribute.
Yeah.
Just hop up and down.
That's
on
what
it
you do. Like my love sack, that's what they tell you to do. They tell you to
They
punch
tell you
it.
to get a giant and flail
No, they
it.
tell you to punch it.
Punch it?
Like
Yeah,
hire
because
your,
it's
your
memory
local
foam. You want to
giant.
break up like the blocks that form.
Look at this thing. It's huge.
This is not a love
Yeah.
sack.
I mean, how much
This you
punching
cannot
would it take?
punch.
Okay.
I'm accelerating
got it.
time.
Oh, sorry, I was fast forwarding for you, and nobody else got the joke or liked it.
No, it totally
No,
did.
I got it. I just didn't like
there
it.
it is. I think it's a little louder, brother.
Yeah. So it's the most wonderful time of year, the holidays. Also the most slowest time of year for video game news because everything's out, everything's done.
It's a
We're-
nice chance to get caught up though.
I'm right now. I'm playing Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider. I hate the name of that game because it's like the new Planet of the Apes movies for me. I never remember if it's Dawn of the Planet of the Apes or Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Is it the dawn or are they rising?
Right.
Come
I,
on.
I don't know. So anyway, I'm playing Rise of the Tomb Raider
know.
right now to try to get caught up.
Which you're
on games
confusing
that I
with
missed.
what exactly?
Right.
Are you thinking of like
Tomb-
Dawn of
Tomb
the
Raider,
Tomb Raider?
Rise of the Tomb Raider. Like,
Yeah.
it's just confusing to me.
That's 2 titles. How's that confusing?
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and Rise of the Planet of the Apes is confusing too.
He's saying he can't remember things.
But it's Tomb Raider and then Rise of the Tomb Raider.
But why wasn't Rise first? She rose and then she was the Tomb Raider.
No.
She knocked down a
That's how
lot.
she
in
be-
that
She was
first
the
game.
Tomb Raider, like it's like when she had her Cher moment, Tomb Raider, and then she was like, "Now I rise."
Right, she had to become the Tomb Raider before she could rise as the Tomb
Have any of you played the game or are y'all just shitting on
No,
me?
we're just shitting
Yeah,
on you.
y'all have no idea.
that was the game that I was like, I'm gonna play this before Fallout 4 because I want to make sure that I get this in, and then I got like distracted with holiday shit.
Yeah.
They have a really good mechanic in that game. I assume y'all played the last one.
Yes.
Where you can like press in on the right thumbstick and you see like objectives highlighted in the world.
senses or
Yeah,
the,
you see like
Hunter sense or what is it called in that game?
instinct, survival instinct.
Instincts. There you go.
You see like a pillar of light where your quest goal is, and then you see materials you can harvest in the world illuminated all
like
around
Dragon
you.
Age style.
Yeah, but the problem I have is I feel like I'm gonna wear out pushing it on the right stick on my controller because I'm just constantly like push, like just trying to see where all the resources are.
That game makes me appreciate. I have played about halfway through Tomb Raider, and then I got distracted by Fallout.
Rise of the Tomb Raider, you mean?
Well,
It's
Tomb
two
Raider.
titles. Keep your shit straight.
It's still Tomb Raider.
I'm in a hole, but I can't like properly climb.
Get back in your hole. That game really makes me appreciate the Elite controller. If you've got one of those, having that paddle on the bottom to do it instead of having to click that stick is way more convenient.
Yeah, and
You have an Elite controller.
I
Why
do.
don't you use the paddle?
I use it.
Oh, so you don't click the
yeah.
stick.
I've got a weird problem where like we've got 2
I
of those
thought
Elite
these-
controllers in the house.
I have one.
But
You blew my mind.
Oh shit! My mind's
you do
I hadn't thought to do that. Brian blew my mind, honestly, when you said that.
Gus is giddy.
I'm so happy. But I'm almost done with the game.
Well,
Start
we'll
it
finish
over.
it in
Do it
style.
again.
Playthrough. We've got 2 of those controllers in the house. The case is somewhere. It's been cleaned, meaning it's been put somewhere that makes perfect sense, and no one knows where the fuck that is. So we can't change anything on the Elite controllers because we can't find the stuff.
Do you have any of the options on it, or are you just going bare controller right now?
I think we might have lost one
Oh
D-pad.
God.
Oh.
And so we were gonna go get that circular D-pad for it. Meh.
Lost.
So it's been temporarily retired. It's furloughed.
You furloughed the entire Elite controller, or
We have a
just
second one.
First,
yeah,
welcome to the First World
jeez.
Podcast.
The fucking 1%, the 1% over here.
But what if you both want to play? Do you fight over it?
No.
How do you win? How do you settle disputes?
We've got one
Thumb
person
wrestling?
play. I play on PC. That's what ends up happening. And
Elite works on PC.
Bernie and JD are monopolizing the Xbox. Bernie's playing Fallout 4 at the moment, and I've been playing all my PC games. Did you guys do that that my year in Xbox thing to see what your numbers were, like how much you
did.
played Xbox? What were your numbers?
I didn't.
I mean, I
I think
pull it up,
I
actually.
played 3,100 hours in this year.
Here's the thing that's weird. Okay, so yeah, mine was like about 3,100 as well. Jeff's is 16,000.
Yeah.
What?
There are
Holy
8,000.
shit.
Yeah, it
Hours
was
in a
like
year.
700 days. His was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
broken.
And also, it said
Oh.
I'd been gaming since 1900.
There's
Yeah,
been
that's-
several people who
I
are
saw
afflicted with
that on yours, and I was like, maybe that means like he was grandfathered into Xbox Live or something.
I think
like,
Bernie and I talked about it, and we speculated that it might be people who were in the Xbox Live beta having a start
Yeah.
date before Xbox Live
Uh-huh.
officially existed.
That
So
makes sense.
yeah, we predate the service, so it doesn't know what date to put. So it puts 1900.
Yeah.
I was actually kind of shocked. My member sense, which I know Jeff and Michael probably have changed their gamer tags or something, but I have actually had my gamer tag longer than Jeff or Michael.
Wow.
Of
Hey,
course,
cha-
they're
changing your-
crushing me and
Changing your
everything
gamer
else.
tag does not reset that timer though,
Oh,
because
OG.
I've changed my gamer tag and I still have my 12 years of service. Or
I think Jeff
whatever.
just started a new one at some point.
Yeah.
right?
yeah, I did
Yeah.
that. I screwed
think-
myself that way.
The one I have now, I think, is since 2004, but it's my second gamer tag. I had one before that that I just like let go.
Which mine's 2004 as well, but that's pretty close to the. What was the first year?
So the original
member.
Xbox came out in
2003?
2001. Then Xbox Live launched a year later in 2002.
Wow, it's been a while.
Is that right? Yeah, that's right.
I should actually post this because that's been a big thing.
So
lately.
you were talking. I'm gonna while they look that
oh,
up. I'm
yeah.
gonna mention something
I
else.
got it.
You were what you got?
All right. Let's see. I'm top 1% in gaming hours. So
Well
that
done,
means I
Ryan.
don't ever
Well
go
done.
outside. This is actually kind of embarrassing. My most active day in 2015 is actually my wife's birthday.
Oh.
I don't know what happened that day.
Is it embarrassing or is it just really fucking telling?
Did you potentially just like leave your Xbox running?
But most active, I presume, means. I mean, I don't know what that stat means,
Maybe that
but
just means it was on and you were logged in for a full 24 hours. Look, Ryan, we're trying to help
Maybe
you.
maybe you were Netflix and chilling for 24 hours
Oh,
straight.
yeah.
that's probably not what that means. But let's see. I picked up 21,000 gamer score. Depressingly enough, my most played game is Destiny.
I love your love-hate relationship with that game.
I've unlocked 989 achievements this year. And then it gives you a list of like valuable achievements that you've unlocked.
See, I did mine, and I can tell that I've moved where I game, and I've moved almost exclusively to PC. Like anything that I can, like Guacamelee, like any game I play it on PC. If it's got controller support, then I'm happy.
Why?
Like Guacamelee, or for one, it's easy. For two, we have plenty of PCs in the house, but the TVs are more limited. Three. Those are two good.
Those are two good ones.
Two good reasons.
Three, refer to 1 and 2. I saw a really upsetting post on Reddit a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And you're talking about your Elite Controller PC game is what makes me think about this. Someone made a post that was like, I forget the wording he used, but it was something like, oh, my girlfriend let me open my Christmas present early. She tried, but LOL, I'm a PC player. And it was a picture of like an Xbox Elite controller. And the comments are all like,
Dude,
you can use that on the PC, and that's a really thoughtful gift. Why are you being an asshole?
Yeah,
and he's like, oh,
seriously,
and then he was replying like, oh, well, I forgot the game, like some game, and I'm 99% complete on it, and there's no controller support for that. And everyone's like, don't
Dude.
be a dick.
yeah.
Dude, seriously.
It's like
Is that the only game you're ever gonna
The
play?
Right, it's like if
No,
you-
the next post is like, oh, my girlfriend left me, lol. She tried.
It was like, oh my god, I think it's a good gift.
Like
Laugh
that's
at my
a good gift,
girlfriend.
and like that's a gift to like she splurged on. Those are
Right.
not cheap
Yeah.
controllers. Like
And
she
hard
put
to
in,
get.
they're what, like $150?
Yeah.
And they were sold out for a long time. I don't even know if you can buy one today.
I
if you
tried to
wanted
buy one as a Christmas present for someone, and I couldn't. They're
So
still sold out.
hey, individual dude on Reddit, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, in the comments defense, people were super quick to defend the gift,
Right.
which I thought was really interesting because normally people get tied up like
Yep.
in console wars or like PC
Yeah.
Master Race or whatever. But they were like, no, that's a good gift. Like it was It warmed my cockles to see Reddit come together to defend
Those
Boy, do you
cockles
love
are
having your
bursting out.
cockles warm.
Yeah, and cupped.
Some of the, I mean, honestly, a lot of the cross-platform stuff
You
I
cup your
think
cockles?
works.
All the
Yeah,
time.
you got to cup them hard.
You do.
Otherwise,
Don't
they
be
escape.
shy.
Yeah. It like for example, Fallout 4. I've got Fallout 4 on the PC. That's where I've been playing it. But I've been playing it with controller just because the button combinations to do things like clear scrap from your bases and stuff like that are just it's ridiculous on the PC. It's like you gotta hit a button here and then a button way over here and then you take your hand. It's awful. But on a controller, it's just XX done.
Yeah, typically, if it's not an FPS or a strategy game, I tend to prefer a controller. And if it's something like a platformer, yeah, that's not even a debate.
Yeah, exactly. And so many of those have been good on PC this year that it's. I've used my controller on PC more this year than ever before.
Yeah.
Which makes me kind of sad sometimes when I have to shoot somebody in the face. But
Well, and it's so easy to use a controller now. We're all upgraded to Windows 10 in the house, and have the adapter thingy.
the dongle,
Yeah. So first of all, I think Windows 10 has native support for all of the controllers. I think they rolled that back to 7 and 8 though as well. So that they now have support for even the Xbox One controller. They didn't.
Well, no,
originally.
it supported the Xbox One controller wired. The wireless dongle only recently got 8 and 7.
There we go. That's what I'm thinking of. And so we actually we ended up with a weird problem where we bought 4 of the wireless adapters because sometimes Bernie and the boys and I like to all play games together, like Rocket League or whatever, like do on one PC whatever we can play, and Teddy really likes to play Gang Beasts.
Oh yeah, that's a great game.
But we found out that we didn't need all 4 of those because the one adapter can sync to a bunch of controllers.
10. Yeah.
10 controllers. So now we have a whole bunch of wireless adapters.
No, I just have one for every computer.
Yeah.
Or Christmas
Pretty
gifts.
much.
I want to
Regifting.
clarify
Okay.
something I said earlier.
Okay.
So I found that guy's post,
Okay.
Yeah.
and it's not as bad as I made it sound.
Okay.
It was 100%. Okay, this is what he posted along with a picture of the Elite controller. 100% PC gamer, 99% in Europa Universalis 4.
Okay. Yeah.
Wife bought me a Christmas present. It's the thought that counts.
Still shitty.
It's still shitty.
Still,
shitty.
and then he clarifies in the comments. She saw me struggling with a 7-year-old 360 pad with Metal Gear Solid 5, so that's what tipped her off. It's like, okay, so then
Great, so
you
she did
do
great.
play other
So she did great.
games. You're right.
So
yeah.
she did great. Yeah.
Yeah, and then and then the comments are like, wait, you're complaining because your wife bought you a $150 gamepad for Christmas? I'm sure there are plenty of people who would like to have a wife that thoughtful.
Yeah.
She saw you struggling
I'd
with the
say-
controller, got you a better controller. Lol.
Bitch.
Well, it's the thought that counts. No, you know
Also-
what? Good job, wife.
What did you
You've
get
done good.
her?
Yeah.
Huh? Let me judge your gift to her.
Well, apparently he got her a smackdown on himself from all of
Yeah,
Reddit.
exactly. Here, I'm gonna take these comments and print them out and wrap them up for you.
Yeah, apparently you got me a great gift. Here's
Yeah.
here's all the internet.
The
accolades
internet
for
thinks
you.
so too. Also, I was shitting on it. I forgot to tell you that part, but
So I'm gonna step back a few
Yeah.
iterations here, a few conversations. So I've been, like I mentioned, I've been playing a lot of Rise of the Tomb Raider, and we sat down and we were talking the other day, and we said that we all play enough games so that if we ever encountered something weird in the game, that we should capture it and bring it in.
Oh yeah.
So and then like literally that night I was playing Rise of the Tomb Raider, and then I had like one of those weird glitches. So it's almost like a fails of the week submission.
All right.
So I don't know if they have it queued up or if Control Room has that, if they can
not,
pull up.
we'll just
If not,
wait.
I'll talk about it and I'll vamp.
We'll
But
wait.
they have a lot of really interesting things in that game where the way you traverse environment and climb and the colors that they use to indicate like what surfaces you can like kind of boost up on, and it reminds me a lot of Uncharted.
Yeah.
Like Uncharted does, a
Yeah.
very similar thing. In Rise of the Tomb Raider, or in this Tomb Raider reboot series, it's always like a white color. Like if you see white, you can like jump on the wall and go up. And I feel like in Uncharted they use like a lot of yellow and red, like colors that pop out from the background.
Prisoners awake.
What about how far into it are you?
I'm just about to. I'll probably finish it tonight. I'm like
Oh, okay.
at the very end of the game. I think they've got the video.
All right.
So I
Alright,
was
yeah.
trying
Let's take a look at
to
this.
climb up a wall using the aforementioned skills, and you can see I was using my survival instincts because I do that all the time.
The trees are really hard to climb sometimes.
And I like this this axe mechanic. And this was my first time in this area. I wasn't quite sure where I was supposed to go, and I figured I was supposed to go up. And I tried.
It looks like an up.
Didn't quite make it, so I tried again, but I jumped off to the side, and
Whoa! Oh no!
I was like,
Recovery.
I was like,
I'm
okay,
good.
I guess I didn't die. I didn't take damage.
By the
Just
way,
went around
I
the
just kind of
tree.
wrapped around the tree a few times.
And
She
you stuck the
appears-
landing.
Yeah, and there's the landing.
ridiculously underdressed for that environment. Come on, get her a coat.
I haven't.
That's the story of Tomb Raider forever.
That's true.
Although she did have that one really cool suit. Was it Tomb Raider 3? Like her sick like wetsuit that she took on the jet skis? Yeah.
You can change. Like you can unlock additional outfits and change them. But right now I only
Do they
have
give you additional abilities?
do.
Because
some
like,
of them do. Yeah.
they better.
Actually, for the indigenous kind of people clothing
Yeah.
set is really useful because, especially if you're playing on hard, which I think that's what my run is.
Does it come with a coat?
It comes with a coat. Also, sometimes when you heal yourself, doesn't use any resources.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is very important because your health doesn't come back any other way on hard.
No,
Yeah,
that sucks.
yeah.
I don't want to sidetrack the conversation, but sitting in this hole sucks.
But
Right?
I feel like I can't be comfortable because my shoulders are so much higher than where everything is supposed to be.
It's an awful hole. I wonder if we can find like a pillow to
You want me to
jam
do an
under
ad
there.
read so you can fix that?
Thank you.
Yeah, let me read this. You go find her a pillow or something. Want to remind everyone, this episode of The Patch is brought to you by Trunk Club. Last minute gifts, crowded airports, the family. You have enough things to worry about during the holidays. Your outfit shouldn't be one of them. Trunk Club has your back. Trunk Club takes the hassle out of shopping by shipping you a trunk of clothes that fit perfectly and make you look like $1,000,000 with all new fall and winter styles. At trunkclub.com/thepatch, you answer simple questions about your style, preferences, and size, and are assigned an expert stylist. They curate clothes from the best premium brands, and you approve. You're in front of my camera. They curate clothes from the best premium brands, and you approve of what you like. And just like that, a trunk arrives on your doorstep, filled with hand-picked clothes that are perfect for you. Try them on, keep what you like, easily return what you don't in their prepaid trunk. It's not a subscription service. You only pay for the clothes you keep from your trunk. No hidden charges, just great clothes. It's the busiest, most hectic time of year, but you can still look fantastic. Get started today at Trunk Club, and Trunk Club will style you for free, plus free shipping both ways. You only pay for the clothes you keep. To take advantage, go to trunkclub.com/thepatch. One last time, it's trunkclub.com/thepatch for a trunk filled with clothes you'll love wearing. These are Trunk Club pants I'm wearing right now. So thanks to Trunk
I
Club.
just feel like a hen that's sitting on a bunch of eggs.
You keep those warm.
Well, but you're not supposed to have the pillows below your feet.
Yeah,
I'm trying to,
like you stack them up back here.
Well, you had them
I
like.
was trying to create
I was-
like a recliner situation. What is all? What like this is? Just
I'd
worse.
rather be in the hole.
Can we just talk about the Hitler pillow? Why do we have a Hitler pillow?
I don't
Somebody
know.
made it from. I think it's from On the Spot
Yeah.
Let's
Oh.
see. I love Hitler as a verb.
by James Willems.
Yep.
Okay, yeah,
Sounds
that
like something he would say.
That sounds about right.
You look like you've popped up a bit.
Yeah.
You're not quite as
Hello.
sunken in.
Ah, yeah, you know.
It's because I couldn't like lean my arm. I was like leaning like this.
Well, look, you kind of pop this right under there. There you go.
Okay,
Now you
yeah,
got an
no.
armrest.
Thank you.
We're just building a chair on top of a chair. This is not an insurmountable problem.
So like I said, I think I'm gonna finish Rise of the Tomb Raider tonight. Then I don't know what I'm gonna play next. I feel like
What have you played of the big games that came out?
Do you?
so I was surprised. Talking about the Xbox year in review. I was surprised at the game I've played most in 2015.
What's that?
Metal Gear Solid 5.
I'm not surprised by that
I'm
at
kind
all.
of shocked that did not bump Destiny.
I feel
for
like
me.
you talked about that an awful
But
lot.
I feel like I played Fallout 4 more. I can't believe that.
Maybe just
I
not
put more
yet.
hours.
Are you fully through? You're done. You've done your completionist. You're at the top of every whatever faction you decided to do for Fallout.
Oh no, I'm going back and playing more.
Well,
But
there you
I'm
go.
taking a break still.
So
Then
that's
I'm
what
gonna
I'm
go back.
saying. Like, I feel like the fact that you're like, oh, I'm playing some other stuff right now. When Gavin has not stopped playing Fallout since it came out, I feel like you could put more time into it. I couldn't get it to load out here, so I can't tell you what my most played game. You know what my most played game in 2015 is? Hands down, Netflix.
Netflix is
Somehow I don't think that counts.
It counts for
My
hours.
problem is that I just skew Bernie's results because he's it's his Netflix account. So
Set up a different profile.
I can't get mine to go.
mine was Dragon Age Inquisition.
Oh, okay, that was a good one.
I still haven't gone back and played that game. Like I have it.
It's a game that is like, it's awesome. It's like, you know, Mass Effect crossed with Skyrim, but with its own unique world. Like, if you liked did you play any of the earlier Dragon Age games?
Played all of them.
Because like that seems to be the big thing. I didn't. This was the first one that I played, and then I have the old ones. Like, I bought them used, always intending to play them, and then just never quite did. So I jumped in with Inquisition, and I feel like there's a lot that would make more sense and it would be richer contextually if I knew the history of the world.
That seems confusing to me because
confusing.
I've played the older Dragon Age games and I've played Inquisition, and Inquisition just puts you in that world, like mages and Templars, and doesn't explain the relationship between them and why.
Oh, that's very significant to that world.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, and I remember in Inquisition, I remember playing it thinking, oh, well, I'm glad I played the other games because I'd be lost right now.
Yeah, oh no, I was lost for a vast majority of the game, and I think that if I go back, you know, it's like, I wouldn't equate it quite to starting Mass Effect 3 without playing the first two, because it's not the same characters, but it is the same world. And so like all of that world building that they've done and all of that history that they've built up, you are starting, you're just dropped into the middle of it. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I ended up doing a lot of supplementary reading as a result. Like, what the hell is this? Because I figured that was kind of my responsibility coming into a series later.
Well,
But-
I think for accessibility or to reach as wide as a group as possible, that would be on them to try to explain it or have something in game.
Yeah, you'd think so, but
Which isn't to take away from the game. It was a great game.
I mean, and they do have a little bit going on. Like, you could go, remember there was that web-based tool you could go in and make previous decisions, but those decisions, if you hadn't played the games, didn't make a lot of sense either. I remember going to that website, looking at a bunch of the decisions and going, that doesn't make any sense to me, and going away. So it might be, and it's really easy for, I think, people who live with a world to get used to the idea that everyone else also lives with that world.
Well, I mean, it's at some point, like, if you're jumping into a series, like, it's weird with this series because it was Dragon Age Origins, then Dragon Age 2, and then Dragon Age Inquisition.
Well, there was let's see, there was one Dragon Age, and then wasn't Dragon Age Origins a tack on to Dragon Age?
I think so.
Was it?
Yeah. I think the original one was just Dragon Age. I'll look it up here.
Was it? Maybe I'm misremembering, but it felt like that was the first title.
My thing finally loaded. My most played game, and I forgot that I spent like a month trying to get that friggin' achievement I never got was Limbo. That stupid
Limbo.
5 less deaths achievement. I felt like
Wow,
every
really?
time I wasn't near Gavin, I was trying to get that stupid achievement, and every time I died, I had like a checkpoint. It was like, if I died on this one thing, I would just like let the run go. And it was that when you're like in the cocoon and you have to hop out of the way. Like, I blow that jump every time. It's like you have to go like a half jump and then jump a gap. I blow that jump every time and I'd be like, fuck it, I'm done. And then I pick it back up and I start.
So, okay, Ryan,
he
you were
was
correct.
Yeah.
You're the right one here. I'm the wrong one here. It was Dragon Age Origins, and I'm thinking of Dragon Age Origins Awakening.
Yes, that was kind of the DLC.
Yeah.
How was Limbo your most played game? That
Yeah, really.
No
Well,
joke. I tried to get
that
that less than 5 deaths achievement for like a month. And I could not get it.
I saw that on the list of achievements and immediately went, I will never get this. And I didn't even attempt it. Bernie did it on a Twitch stream.
Yeah, Bernie did it, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to do it. And then Bernie did it, and I was like,
But he'd done it before though. He did it on the 360 version. So he had done it before. He knew he could get through it. But even he, like, after, and he'd played it a whole bunch of times to practice to get ready for the attempt. And even so, he ended up doing it like he was on the last death as he went through, and almost didn't make it.
the glass
it
break thing is like,
nerve-wracking.
I'd waste 25 lives there, I feel. Like, it's so, at the very, very end, like, I must have spent a solid month of, like, every time Gavin was playing something else, I'd be like, he'd be like, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. Come in. I'd be like,
I'm not playing Limbo.
I was playing Limbo all the time. I forgot.
Completely
forgot.
I wish the stat tracking on how long you played a game was not kind of broken, because it seems like to me that anytime you you power down your console but don't shut it all the way off. If you didn't force quit the game, your time in game keeps running.
Right. Or yeah.
Because there's so many games I'd be really curious to see, like, what does that actually mean? How long did I really play that game? And I bet you anything Destiny is my most played game over Phantom Pain because of just having...
But didn't Phantom Pain also do the same thing where the timer kept going?
No, I really don't know.
I have that with a lot of Steam games where it's like you've played 10,000 hours in Long Live the Queen or whatever, and I'm like, well, I didn't really. I just left it on in the background while I was doing something else.
All right, everyone made fun of me when I said that that's what I had with How to Full Boyfriend, that I just left it running for 24 hours, and I was like, haha, you just really love banging birds.
Yep.
No one believes
To
me.
be fair, I really do love banging birds.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Well, now that Holiday Star is out and it's holiday themed, I'm gonna play it this week.
What
I
was
feel like
your-
it's a proper lead up to Christmas. It's gonna be make me grateful for all the things I have, like not an apocalypse where the birds get super smart.
Or not playing How to Full Boyfriend anymore.
What was your most played games with gold title?
I
that
think
an
mine
option?
was. I think mine was Ori.
By
Mine
the way,
was
the-
Valiant Hearts.
Phantom Pain actually has kind of like a built-in excuse for being a most played game because so many things in that game required real world time. Like if you needed to build an FOB, if you needed to develop a weapon, you'd have to just leave it running.
Child of Light.
So what are we
hold on,
looking
maybe
at?
that's what mine was. Let me go look at my thing.
Most played
Games with gold?
Game with gold. Yeah, mine was Valiant Hearts. I went through and got all those achievements.
Oh, Rayman Legends.
Wow.
Eli loves it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, that's his favorite game.
It's funny, like you talk about your most active day, and mine is just some random day.
Yeah, mine
Like,
too.
It's like June 8th. Like, what
Oh, yeah,
happened?
mine's September 1st.
I assume that's like maybe what I was guessing it was like the day you got the most achievements, or I don't know, like if it was just like the day you were online the longest.
I've only unlocked
Nope,
225
mine was
achievements.
mine was Child of Light as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
Mine
did
was
play
just a
Child of Light
Tuesday.
twice.
I
My
forget
most
what mine
active
was.
day was just a Tuesday.
I spent 3,284 hours on Xbox Live. This
Yeah.
year.
Mine
Like-
was a Monday.
Oh, did I say what mine was? Mine is. Oh, there we go. I spent 135 hours. Oh, and I spent 135 hours because I didn't play anything. Like it was pretty much Dragon Age, and then the exclusives, and that was it.
Ryan, how often were you in?
What's that?
How many
long?
hours?
3,280
Good God.
of a possible 8,760. I
Mine's
think
1,000.
See,
1,000.
I would
Well, I
love
do that
something.
all
Don't
day.
scoff at my 1,000.
No,
Get
I'm just
out.
like
Not
I do
all
that
of
all
us get
day.
to do it all day like you do.
At least you're quadruple digits, unlike someone.
Oh, I was about to say. I mean, it's these stats are kind of interesting to me because I live in a world of people who
Yeah.
just game constantly.
No, I got fucked by all the people on my friends because it's like on average your friends have 202 achievements and mine are like you unlocked 40.
Well, like-
I don't care at all, but I have all the idiot achievement hunters on my friends list and they're all unlocking achievements like crazy.
I would love to see like something that could take all of those platforms, like the Xbox interview, and then do like add that with the PS4 one, add it with the PC one,
That'd be
add
cool,
it with
like
the Wii
your
U one,
gaming
like have
year.
something that really adds everything up. In fact, for a really long time, like way after everyone else stopped using it, I used was it Raptor?
Oh God, I forgot about Raptor.
Oh yeah, I used that for ages. I just let it track
Oh
everything
yeah, it'd
to
be like
see,
getting achievements.
because it would keep track of your games across multiple platforms, so I could be like, what am I actually spending all my time playing on? And I don't know, for all I know, it's still running. It's just, and I just like turned off notifications for everything after a while. But it would be nice to have something that shows you a picture of your gaming across all platforms. Because I look at this and I'm like, oh wow, like I'm like, do I not play games? I'm like, no, I fucking play games. I'm just playing on different platforms,
I'm
bitches, and
surprised.
Steam won't give me that.
I'm surprised that Steam doesn't put that out. I feel like they're
Doesn't have
very
an aggregator.
analytics driven.
I think
Like
it'd be really
you'd be able to
cool.
pull.
Uh,
I can see my hours like per game.
There
like,
may
in
actually
each one.
be something that does that. I remember seeing an article the other day that was talking about all this. It's like sub trackers basically for Steam, like SteamDB and things like that. And there may be one that aggregates that information for you.
Cool.
Yeah, so it might be out there. But no, it's weird to see the stats and see because it's like top 1% on gamer score. It's like I will work in a world where everyone around me is like 6-digit gamer scores and I've got way less. And it's like I don't think of my gamer score as being high.
I think you said that you got 21,000 gamer score this year.
Yeah.
I have a total over my 12 or 13 years of Xbox Live. I think I'm at 45,000.
Yeah, I think
So
I'm at like
in
30
one
something.
year, you've gotten almost 50% of my lifetime achievements.
Yeah, I until I dated Gavin, could not give a fuck less about achievements. I never went out of I didn't even look at the list. Like I'd pop an achievement and be like, ah, neat, and then I'd continue with my life. But like he's always like, what is that? Is that an achievement over there?
And
then everybody else makes me look like a chump.
And now you spent a month of your life in
Limbo trying to get that friggin' achievement because I just wanted it so bad.
Well, that's
I wanted to be cool like Bernie, to be fair. But anyway, my gamer score is super low because I don't care about achievements, and it's like I'm the top 10% or something. And I was like, wow, I think that just means people start accounts and then get 0 gamer score.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that means.
Or they don't have access to a lot of games. I mean, that's
true.
It's an expensive habit to try and get a lot of gamer score because you're constantly having to get games. But I think that Limbo is actually a great example, or the achievement you're going for is a great example of when an achievement is done well, like when it actually is a good achievement as opposed to like kill 4 of these guys. It adds a sub game to the game.
Oh, I think the only other time I can remember being like, I gotta get this achievement was Resident Evil 5. There was an achievement for taking your knife and cutting an arrow out of the air. And there was like one guy at the beginning who just like shoots arrows at you, like, and he just stays a safe distance. So I just like, chop, damn it. Chop, damn it. Chop, damn it. Chop. Oh, I got it! Like, it's like the only other one that I was like, yeah.
That's great. That is an example of taking giving you something to do in a game that's not necessarily part of the game, but changes your gameplay style just a little in making an interesting sub game out of it. I wish more achievements were that way.
Limbo has a like an extra game in it where you go and get these eggs that you stomp on, and they're difficult. Some of them are completely in the dark, like you have to traverse this whole thing. And I always love when I can't find something.
It's like you're in the dark and there's a buzzsaw.
Yeah.
The shortcut.
Yeah, you got to use like the sound to go with it to get it. But I love when I'm like, shit, how do I do this? And then I look it up and it's like an achievement guide. Or like I'll hear Gavin like looking up an achievement and it's like we're watching our own content to get those achievements.
Yeah, when the Uncharted collection came out recently, on the PS4, I was replaying through, I think it was Uncharted 2 at the time.
Best one.
And there was like an artifact I found. I was like, what do they call it? Treasure. And I was like, oh, I wonder where all the treasures are on this level. And I looked it up and I was like, oh, I made a video for this. I'm watching my own video from 5 years ago when it first came out.
Yep, that happens. Gavin will be like, oh, look, I made this video with Jack or someone. And they're like going through an achievement. It's so funny.
Yeah, it was weird to me to think that like that video that had been made forever ago suddenly became relevant again and like could have a second life because of a remastered game coming out.
The analytics on that, speaking of data, would be kind of cool to see if it got like a bump because of the new Uncharted collection.
Yeah. And speaking of Uncharted, they have a theatrical trailer for Uncharted that's like all computer generated. I guess it's playing before some movies now.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And related to that, Blizzard has an Overwatch trailer that's also playing in theaters.
Yeah, it's called like an actual theatrical trailer.
Huh.
I mean, it's not the first time. Like, I've seen game trailers play before movies before, but not many. It tends to be just like the big 1 or 2 games per year. It seems like more and more that's happening now.
The Overwatch one, I'm glad you pulled it up. The Overwatch one looks fucking cool.
Overwatch, they don't have to do anything else. People are already shitting their pants for this game.
Yeah.
They need nothing else.
But if there's one thing that Blizzard is really good at, it's that cinematic style CG trailer.
Yeah, and they nail it. That trailer is really good. It's only like a minute long. If you have a minute, I highly recommend you watch it.
I still would like to see more game trailers show, game.
Actual gameplay footage.
Yeah, like, I mean, I like the idea of like the vision, like this is the cool world and feeling, but like you were telling a story about
Diablo?
The Diablo trailer, like the Diablo trailer looks super cool, and Esther pointed out you pointed out to Esther you'd been playing that game for a month.
Yeah. She thought that game. She said that game looked really scary. Do I ever play that game? And I was like, you've been watching me play that game for a month. So it doesn't. Yeah.
To be fair, Esther had been drinking.
She might have. But yeah, you're right. I mean, the CG cinematic trailer like captures atmosphere or mood, but doesn't actually show gameplay.
But it is
like it's not showing what you're going to be doing.
It's really cool though, like with the new WoW expansion Legion that they showed at BlizzCon with the new Sylvanas and like her new outfit and like sweet new bow she has, and it was just like it's like that epic moment where you're like, oh, you're cool again. Like I've seen Lady Sylvanas 100 times, but it's like, look how neat and shiny and cool you look. Like you get excited about it again.
Wait. So. She was a night elf, right?
And then, well, no, she's a blood elf, and then she gets betrayed.
Undeaded.
Yeah.
And,
And then
she's still
rises again to get her vengeance.
wait.
She has
so
like a really husky, awesome voice.
She's still undead, or is she less? Dead?
I mean, you can't come back to life.
What do you mean you can't come back to life?
She's she's the Forsaken. She leads the Forsaken.
Okay,
There you go.
Somebody fact check the fuck out of that because it's been about 10 years.
Yeah, that's thoughts that go
she
back
sings
so
a song,
far.
but she comes up. She gets her comeuppance.
Where's my Warcraft 4?
Hold on, let me just call.
Oh God, I would love.
This would be
Warcraft
hilarious.
4.
I
Can
just
say?
call my mom and ask her the lore, or just like speakerphone it. Mom,
We only have 30 more minutes.
Lady
Do you think
Sylvanas.
that's enough time?
I'll text
It
her
starts
right.
in the old days.
No joke. I'll text her right now.
Yeah, I would love to see Warcraft 4. Do you think we'll get one anytime soon?
Well,
Okay. First of all, let me take away the anytime soon because we are talking about Blizzard.
here's the thing, though.
Even after they announce it, it'll probably be a couple of years.
Absolutely. Well, they just wrapped up StarCraft, which, by the way, I've gotten through the main storyline of it, and there's an epilogue that comes after that. And
That's what I'm playing next. StarCraft.
StarCraft. It's
Really?
underwhelming. It's hugely underwhelming. Like the first two chapters
Really?
had so much more impact, and the last chapter, is the kind of like the culmination of it, where it's like the Protoss versus the big galaxy-spanning problem, and somehow it comes off with way less. I mean, you basically watch. It's not really a spoiler. Like the Protoss have lost their homeworld. The whole thing's about them trying to retake.
Right.
Well, at the beginning, them were trying to retake it, but the Protoss are just such unemotional, pontificating kind of.
Are you saying you can't connect with them emotionally, Ryan? Is that what you're saying?
You really can't. Like, you just don't feel there because they're always, I mean, they don't never change their tone of voice really. Like, even when they're upset about stuff, it's just like the same echoey psionic voice that just completely takes you out of any connection to them. You get to the end of it, you're like, the last mission too was completely easy, or at least of the regular.
Lady Sylvanas Windrunner was the former Ranger General of Silvermoon and is now the leader of the Forsaken faction in the Undead in the Horde. So I believe I was correct.
You were correct.
And we'll see what my mommy. I literally texted my mom, "Hey mom, tell me the story of Lady Sylvanas in like 10 sentences," and she's typing.
That's
see what Mom says.
strangely adorable.
Are you a big fan of like the old school like that old school isometric RPGs like Baldur's Gate, all those kinds?
Yes.
There's a game that you might enjoy that just came out on Steam called Underrail. It's a post-apocalyptic. Hold on, I'm gonna look up. I'm just starting to play it, so I'm gonna use the actual description to give a better idea of the game. But it's a post-apocalyptic turn-based RPG where it's focused on combat exploration, tactical turn-based combat. It's kind of a whole like underground world. The idea is that where is it? Far future Earth's surface has been uninhabitable. And so everyone lives in like an underrail metro network. That's where everybody lives. But it's the gameplay is oh gosh.
This looks like
inspired
Fallout 2.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
that's
like old
exactly
school,
what this looks like to me.
like 1 and 2. It says it's inspired by the special system and then later editions of D&D. So like I'm just getting it and just getting into it. It came out a couple of days ago. And but looks awesome.
But looking at this now, it reminds me that I still haven't played Shadowrun Hong Kong, so that's what I'm going to play now.
That one too.
And then
Well, okay, wait,
StarCraft.
let's
and
take a
Underrail.
look. Well, your list is
Shadowrun's
getting
gonna beat
really
out
long.
StarCraft.
Yeah. This is because I played Dragonfall not that long ago. I played the original one, Shadowrun Returns, when that came out. I missed Dragonfall, so I just played that recently. And Dragonfall was, God, maybe one of my favorite games that I've played this year.
Really?
So now I'm really excited for Hong
I haven't
Kong.
played Dragonfall yet. I need to play that one.
It was really, really good. I
I
mean,
love the Shadowrun series. Like, I used to read the books.
You got the
and
Fallout
everything.
anthology, right?
yeah.
The one that came in the bomb. or
Yeah,
whatever?
they were books.
Did you play? Because 1 and 2 are part of that.
Yes.
Right.
Well, it's
Fallout
a
1 and 2.
role-playing game,
Have you played those?
I played
didn't
them
play that.
when I played them back in '99, I think. So I haven't played them since then.
Okay. All right.
But going back to Warcraft for a second, even if we did get another, like if we got Warcraft 4 right now, if you hadn't played World of Warcraft, how much would the world be different? And you would just have no idea coming from 3 to 4.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I only ever I played 3. I didn't play anything before that to set the world up. I just sort of took it at face value.
Mm-hmm. Did you play all the deals or they were expansion
like
packs
Frozen
then,
King,
actually.
like Frozen King and such?
Yeah.
I played Frozen King.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, that even had a story to it, and if you were to then play a game after that, you at least knew where you were then, but where you are now, assuming that it didn't just overwrite World of Warcraft, like I guess they could do an RPG that is basically the World of Warcraft story made RPG, but otherwise you would just have to do
There's
so much
so
backstory.
much World of Warcraft story though.
Yeah.
Even like playing World of Warcraft years ago and then going back now, it's like, whoa, everything's different. What has changed? Someone stomped on this city and now it's all different.
I mean, there was definitely story from 1 to 2 and then 2 to 3, but they really took it a little bit further when they started kind of creating the hero system in 3.
Do you think we'll have to wait until after World of Warcraft ends to get a Warcraft 4?
The World of Warcraft never ends.
I mean, I'm sure they got an RPG team, right? Because that's who put together StarCraft. So they're gonna do something.
Overwatch.
Everybody
What,
works
Overwatch
on
is already-
Overwatch.
Overwatch has its own team, though.
Sort out the door.
So,
at
I
this
mean, I
point.
agree that, like, the StarCraft team has to go and they're working on something.
Or they're all fired.
Or they've been redistributed.
No.
Hey, sorry, you should have made a better
The
chapter.
the
Wow,
first
Ryan's
E3,
salty.
the first E3 I ever went to was in 2001, and it was like I remember going to the Blizzard booth and seeing like Warcraft 3 before it had come out, and just like being blown away by how fucking amazing that game looked at the time. And it's funny to me now to think back about that.
I remember going to all the E3s where StarCraft Ghost was like the huge next big game.
I played Ghost.
I remember.
I played it at BlizzCon, and then it went away. When I first played World of Warcraft, my first character ever was a mage, and I think I played World of Warcraft for probably at least a year before I knew where the Zeppelins were.
So how did you get?
Mages have teleport. And can do portals. So like, it wasn't until I made like my first serious alt that I was like, okay, how do I get off this continent? And I had I started following
What
people.
race were you?
My mage was a troll.
Okay.
And then
I'm not familiar with the troll start area, but like I know where the undead start area. Then you have to get it.
The troll area back then was like Sinjin Village, like down in Duratar, like down in like just south of Orgrimmar.
Okay, well, so at least you were near Orgrimmar because
Yeah.
the undead area you have to take a zeppelin because you're not even on the same continent.
Right. Yeah. But yeah. So it was really confusing to me. I played the game like it was something that was so critical to the game, and I didn't know it for like a year.
My mom has started the story, but I'm gonna wait till she finishes the story so we can all have story time with my mom.
Is she doing like one sentence at a time?
She literally started with one sentence, and it starts with "in her real life," so it's really it's a once upon a time. It's a once upon a time type thing.
Long
I like the
ago.
qualification of real life.
Yeah, in her real life, because she's real. Actually, when I got started playing World of Warcraft, my mom had been playing for a long time, and I was like, I'm not playing that. That takes over people's lives. And I was making Thanksgiving dinner with her. She was like, just create a character, just like dress it up. What would you be if you could be anything? So I made like an undead rogue, and then she was like, what are you gonna name it? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Like I don't
like
know.
a drug pusher.
No joke. Then she's like, what are you gonna name it? I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'll name it something dumb like Flasher. And then she was like, oh, it's kind of cool because like a rogue goes in and out of cover, and so like you can like in and out of stealth. Like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like she flashes behind you. And she's like, I bet that name's taken though. And I'm like, yeah, probably. She's like, well, just enter world and see if it's taken. And I'm like, okay. And then I enter world. She's like, oh, great, you have your first quest. Okay, here we go. And I'm like,
Oh, she totally shut.
the next day I got a new gaming PC. It was my Christmas present with World of Warcraft, and I played like 16 hours that day.
my
Like
God.
I was absolutely addicted.
So the next day she gave you a gaming
Yeah.
PC. So was that her just like really stacking the deck for
Yeah.
how good the present was going to be?
no joke, I think she got it that night. Like it was like Black Friday, like a
Oh,
Black
wow.
Friday purchase. Yeah, she just was like, I can't be
like-
alone in the World
She's
of
like,
Warcraft.
I need some DPS.
I know.
we need some stealth DPS.
That's how Bernie got me into Minecraft.
Yeah.
Was just like he's like, you ever want to try it? And I was like, I think my time has passed. Like it's been years that this game is out, and so many people have so much history with it, and I feel like it's just, it's one of those games like Pokemon or something it's passed me by,
Yeah.
and that's okay. And he's like, well, if you just sit down, I just want to like show you how this works, so that you have like an understanding. And I was like, okay, sure, it's good to have a basic understanding of this stuff. It's a
Academic,
huge
really.
game.
Yeah.
And went, okay, so you just spawn into this new world. So hit that tree, take the wood. I need to build a thing because you need to build shelter for the night. So like making basically a coffin in the side of a hill where I can just be safe for the night. And he goes, oh, okay, now you can make this. And I was, oh no. Oh no. It took about 15 minutes and I was like, I'm so screwed.
Yep.
That's so funny because Gavin tried the same thing with me. I was like, I played with when I was at SourceFed, I played with like these guys who are like Minecraft, who like do a lot of Minecraft videos and stuff. And I was just kind of like the noob running around shooting arrows. And then he was like, did you ever get into it after that? And I said, no, I've never really got into it. And he was like, all right, great, we're gonna play together. It's gonna be so much fun. And we built shelter and we found all this stuff. And he was like, do you want to play Minecraft again? I'm like, no, not really. It just never took off for me. I was never enthralled by Minecraft.
It had me for a little while. There's a couple of games I used to play quite a bit with my wife, and Minecraft was one of them. But there was a period where we also played a lot of World of Warcraft together.
Yep.
And what got her was the holiday quests. Like she would see me like,
you can become a tiny little gnome and be dumb in your little Santa suit and throw snowballs at people.
We got started like at Halloween time. She's like, oh, that's cool. And then like all the holiday quests. So we played a lot together. And it was right after Wrath of the Lich King was the expansion at the time. And like she started a gnome character, and she was a gnome warrior, and I was a human paladin. So
gross.
I would heal her, and she'd just go around and like fight stuff.
Dirty Alliance or dirty Alliance.
She wanted to be the gnome.
Dirty.
That's the only time I ever played Alliance. But so I remember one time we were questing. By this point, we must have been like level 70 or so. I don't know. We were like close to max level at the time. And we were in, one of the later areas, and like some other random player came up to us. Like we were in an inn, just like goofing around, and it meant, like I said, she was really small and I was really big. Some other player walks in the inn and goes, "You two guys should fight each other. I want to watch you guys fight." And I was like, "The fuck is this?"
Somebody gets off. I'm I want to see you guys fight.
I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" It was like the weirdest, creepiest encounter I had with a player in World of Warcraft.
Then did you duel?
No, I was like, "Get the fuck out of here!" I was a prop paladin, and there's no way I was gonna win that duel.
Once upon a time, I tried to duel my mom, and I got my ass handed to me, and I never tried again. Ever. I was like, oh, Mom, look how cool I am as a rogue. And she had started an alt to like come up with me, and I got my ass handed to me, and I was like, this is lame. I'm going to quest on my own.
And Flasher never dueled again.
Flasher never dueled
Retired.
again. Flasher, you used to be able to sell your characters. People would sell them for money, which was, you were not allowed. It was never allowed, but people still did it. Yeah, and you'd get like banned forever if you were found out, and Flasher was sold. I was like, oh, I'm done with World of Warcraft. I gave it to my brother, and then Flasher was sold. All right, so we have our story.
Okay.
All right. Once upon a time. In her real life, she was the Ranger General of Silver Moon. Although she prevented a Scourge invasion headed by Arthas, she fell in battle, and Arthas was so pissed at her that he ripped her soul from her and made her into a Banshee, which is why she's called the Banshee Queen. Oh. As a Banshee, she was controlled by the Lich King. She broke away from him and reclaimed her body, but now she was an undead. She gathered her other undead, and together they became known as the Forsaken, and she, their queen. Now she's typing more. I thought she was done. Sorry.
So, first of all, I know Arthas.
Yeah.
Because Warcraft 3.
Yeah.
It's great. Would you want to reclaim your body after you die?
Well, he ripped her soul from her body.
Right,
so...
but how long was it just sitting there decomposing before she reclaimed it?
But she's an undead. So they just look, she's like, but she looks good. She doesn't look like most of the other undead.
She's mostly all put together.
She looks good.
Okay. She's probably missing like a knee or something.
Nah, she looks good.
Yeah?
Yeah, like the other undead will have like a hole in their face or like a bone.
I guess he just ripped her soul out, right?
Undead. Yeah, because she was a hot elf, and now she's like hot undead. So basically her skin tone turned blue. Well. She did good. And the story ends, the Forsaken joined forces, God damn it, Mom, stop typing. The Forsaken joined forces with the Horde and defeated the Lich King. That's more than 10 sentences you've run out of.
Yeah, no, she's pretty hot. But I wonder why she's hiding under that armor. Probably
she's hot, and I've built most of that armor at this point.
It's good to know that her torso and that her boobs are intact.
Well, and the new armor that came out in the Legion trailer, she's got all that covered now. She has like a leather corsety midriff thing.
So really, what we're uncovering here is that the decomposition is progressing, and she has to hide it. She probably smells terrible.
Maybe it's also like she doesn't need to prove to anybody that her midriff looks good. She'll wear whatever she wants.
Or that she's smart and knows that the vital organs should be covered. Although, do undead need to cover their vital organs?
Not really.
Do they have any vital organs?
They're non-vital organs.
They don't have any more
I guess the
vital
brain,
organs.
right? You can't lose a brain if you're the undead.
Right.
Got to take care of that. She's not wearing a hat, is she?
I like the
She wears
idea
a
of
hood.
Yeah.
a bunch of undead people are running around and all like they're fully naked except they've got a big like collar here so they can't be beheaded and just a giant like full head helmet.
My vital organ.
Yeah.
Like a diver, like an old diver mask.
They're just running around like naked with a diving belt.
They're big daddies. Just like the daddy bar shop.
I'm normally totally unrelated. I was just thinking about this for some reason. I'm normally the kind of person who hates like there's all those like aftermarket accessories that people sell for consoles like
the third party like Mad Cats type stuff.
right, like for the 360 there was like that cooler that you could like put onto the back. But I did see a third party accessory for PS4 and Xbox One that I'm actually interested in.
Shut the front gate. What is it?
Nyko's making like this little
Nyko.
You want to get the humpback?
the hump. It's like a hard drive enclosure, so you can put 3.5-inch hard drives into it and expand your console storage.
Don't you just why not just plug in a USB 3 drive?
It's more neat than just like having an extra drive hanging off the side.
Wait,
More neat.
where?
You
Okay,
make it
just
look
out of
like the
curiosity,
Hunchback of Notre Dame.
what's your setup?
Or Notre
Because the
Dame.
way like we have a
Wherever.
console set up and it's just are hidden, and we just plug the USB drive into the back USB port and just leave it behind there.
Yeah.
We never unplug it. We never see
What
it.
kind? But it's like it's USB powered though, right? It's like a little 2.5-inch drive.
Yeah.
Like this would be a 3.5-inch drive that you could potentially put like a 10,000 RPM drive in there, so it's faster. It's not just like some shitty 2.5-inch
But
drive.
will
Okay.
ya?
But then you
Yeah,
have to,
that, I mean, because it only
Yeah,
accepts.
I'm sorry. You think Gus won't?
That's
That's
No,
my
Gus-
that's my
Gus
biggest
absolutely
complaint. And
fucking
when
will.
I got my PS4 at launch, that's the thing I was most interested in was, and that like could I put a 10,000 RPM drive in there, or like what kind of drive could I put in there to make it faster to try to reduce load times?
well, the
But will it
PS4
fit?
itself, you actually can. You
Swap out
can
the
take
drive,
it apart
yeah.
and swap the drive, right? It's just the Xbox One that you. Well, I mean, I think on that one you technically can,
But it's really difficult.
It's an aftermarket hack that
Yeah.
you're. Yeah, I think it actually, if they detect it, they may brick your Xbox.
Really?
I think that's.
If you,
I think they
physically swap the
technically
drive.
can,
Yeah.
but it's one of those things that they're like, we can, but
yeah, and I think it definitely
it's
voids your
gentleman's
warranty.
agreement. They don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anytime you open up the console, it voids the warranty, right?
So I'm interested from a performance aspect.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what your load time difference was. But,
Ooh, we
but
should
why
do a
would you do a
comparison.
10,000?
That would be
RPM?
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you do a 10,000? If you really care about performance, why would you do a 10,000 RPM drive instead of just getting an SSD?
I mean, you're looking at like cost, performance.
You know what? It'd be good to do a
You're right, though. I should get an
comparison
SSD.
of
Now you've just
So
bumped
you-
it up even more.
like an external SSD, an external just like a normal plug-in USB drive, just a USB 3 one, and then internal storage.
I've actually been looking at SSDs recently. So you can get a 500 gig, which, is a decent addition if your console's already 500.
Well, I mean, yeah, it doubles it, but
It does. But you realistically, if you're adding an external SSD, strictly for better load times, then you're going to put all your games that you're playing there.
Mhm.
But it's about $150 right now
Really?
Yeah.
That's
for 500 gigs.
And
really
Gus is
crazy
in.
cheap. Yeah.
I'm
I'm changing my strategy.
Yeah, and it pretty much doubles. So you get a 1 terabyte for about 300, 350, and they even have 2 terabyte versions now. But then it gets
you're-
pretty
This
expensive.
is a man
They're
who's
paying for it.
spent hundreds on ships that don't exist. So
Oh, we haven't even
Also-
talked about that.
Yeah.
Remember,
man.
SSDs are still tiny little things.
true.
Like you could really just, well, I don't know that they make I'm sure they do, but it's not very common. An SSD that's an external hard drive.
an SSD that's an external hard drive, right? You'd have to find like
Mhm.
like one of those 2.5-inch to USB 3
Yeah.
interface, or
Yeah.
they do like a SATA to USB interface. They sell those.
Do they?
Yeah.
I haven't seen those. The new thing now is actually not even SATA, but to go to PCIe. Like
Oh,
the fastest
yeah.
SSDs are now PCIe, and I think they're like up to a gigabit.
Yeah, I can't plug that into my
I love that
console.
everything's like back to PCI.
Well, it's PCIe.
PCIe, but
Yeah.
still,
No,
I remember.
no one talks about PCI.
I remember
anymore. I
when
mean,
you could
come on.
have a PCI graphics card, or you could have an AGP graphics card,
yeah.
and everyone was like, the AGP's the shit.
Accelerated graphics port.
That's
I
right.
remember
yeah.
that shit.
Oh, wait, was it accelerated or advanced?
I thought it was accelerated. Oh
Maybe
shit!
accelerated.
his
I may
whole
be
life
misremembering.
has been a lie.
It's like that in that era. I'm gonna assume it was accelerated. That sounds like it would be the word.
AGP.
The word of the
handbags.
time.
What the hell's that?
A golden path.
It is accelerated. You're correct.
Accelerated. Yeah, I remember, like, I had like, my first graphics card was a Voodoo. It was like a PCI version of the Voodoo.
Oh, the Voodoo.
And it was this, like, shitty, like, well, it's like, really, you don't have no AGP in your motherboard, huh? Okay. And so I got this, like, shitty PCI Voodoo graphics card.
The Voodoo cards didn't even have 2D.
That's what I was going to say. Like, it only did 3D. You had to have a separate 2D card.
The original ones. Like, the Voodoo 3 was when they added 2D.
Right, but if she's got a PCI version, I assume that's like the original one.
It was the 3.
Oh.
But it was like a shitty PCI version of it.
They used to make them in both flavors.
Did.
You get a PCI and AGP.
Yeah, my first AGP card, I was like, I'm living it now. Living it.
I think my first one was an STI Velocity, which that company eventually got bought out by NVIDIA. So my NVIDIA leanings go way back.
I had I think mine was like a Riva TNT.
Yes.
Oh, I remember those.
Yeah, it was a NVIDIA Riva TNT. I think it had 16 megs of not 16 megs, 16 megabytes of video RAM. I think.
Oh man, like I remember when I got my first hard drive. I think that was over 100 megabytes. It was like 400, and I was like.
Set for life.
It's for real now.
Yeah, I stole it from my mom because she ordered, like, she got a whole bunch of parts because someone was like a family friend was gonna like build her a PC or whatever, and I was like, you don't need this hard drive. Here, let me give you mine, and I gave her my hard drive and took hers and went plugged it into my personal PC and was like, oh, I'm gonna EverQuest the shit out of this now. This is great.
That was back when they used to measure hard drives. Their big talking point was like the number. It's like having 100 floppy disks.
Yeah.
Wow.
No.
I can store everything.
We're getting to the end of the patch, so I just want my mom finished the story. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
Wow.
So last time we left Sylvanas, she had joined
on our last episode.
The Forsaken had joined forces with the Horde and defeated the Lich King, right? So she remains in the realm of the living just as long as her Valkyrs survive. She knows that she will eventually succumb to the darkness, so she presently is trying to conquer the Eastern Kingdoms for the Forsaken. She's my hero. And then I said, awesome, I'm going to read this on the patch. And she said, OMG, I thought you wanted a more off-the-cuff thing. The end.
There you go.
So the story of
my mom's hero,
Lady Smelly.
Sylvanas.
The full write-up to be discussed later.
Yeah,
Yes.
apparently. Apparently the 15 text message was just an off-the-cuff thing.
That's the short version.
Look, she didn't have time to really delve into
She
the
didn't, but she could if she needed to.
I feel like we have a good understanding.
Yeah.
I feel like that's more than even I understood. I played the shit out of
same.
World
I'm
of
like,
Warcraft.
yeah, she was Forsaken. She got her comeuppance. She's part of the Forsaken now.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
okay.
that's from the quest lines that I had to do for her. That's what I got.
So there's where your tie-in for Warcraft 4 is, because she can't conquer the Eastern Kingdoms in World of Warcraft, because if she did, then that would completely change. Basically, the Alliance would be kicked off the island, or the continent, right? So that's one of those things that just is going to have to stay at some sort of a stalemate, or they're going to just...
Until after.
Or she'll become a villain, or some other thing like that. But if they were to do an RPG, there's a good tie-in.
That's true.
The Forsaken versus the Alliance. But you never play as anything really other than the Alliance in any of the RPGs, right?
But now that you can play as Horde in World of Warcraft,
No, that's not
it'd
true.
be
I guess you
it'd be remiss if you couldn't choose.
there was I think later on you're allied with the Horde, so you may have gotten to control. Well, no, that was back in the good old day when you, just like StarCraft, you played every
Did you just
side,
say the
right?
good old day?
Back in the good old days.
Back in
Just
the
one
good old
day.
days.
Just one.
Also, my wife's birthday. It was weird.
I
I
like
played
it.
so many games that day.
I like that wasn't even ironic.
I played Warcraft 3 back in the day, and then a couple of years ago, I was at a Goodwill here in town, and I saw that they had like a used copy of Warcraft 3 for sale there, and it had like the product key in it still. I was like, oh, okay. So I bought it for like $2, took it home, activated the product key on my Blizzard account. It's like, great, I can download it now, and I just threw the disc away. It's like
discs.
Yeah, because like I don't think I even had a disk drive in my computer. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. I can download it from battle.net
Yeah.
now, and I have it. Like
You
all I
should've
needed was
shredded
the
the
key.
disc just to assert your dominance.
Yeah,
over
exactly.
it.
I feel like you need to you go home and you break discs and you take it.
This was mine forever. I stole the code. How did it still have the product code though? That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
It was
That's impressive.
Well, actually, I guess
I used to do that all the time. I used to always go to. It was one of my favorite things to do was go to garage sales and like Goodwill and just see like what old games they had and just find tons of stuff. Like I've got a fuck ton of old games.
Like you wouldn't have needed like the product code. I forget. Did it even have you enter it when you installed it? The product code is really only relevant now that you can activate it online. It used to be something you typed in. So.
Yeah, it's something you type in, but then you might have to like register it, but you'd register it directly with Blizzard.
Yeah, that's what happened. I think back then it was just a product code to allow you to install. And then when you go to Battle.net, since that game predated Battle.net, it was like you can enter an old product key and then it'll associate that. Like it'll basically associate that forever with you digitally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you couldn't take a game in, obviously. Like your key would be
Right, like if someone else tried that,
right,
it would say this key's already been redeemed. So I got it.
How pissed would you have been if you got all the way home? They were like,
it was like $2. I was
That's
like,
it's a gamble though.
Right.
It was a gamble.
Right, yeah, but it paid off.
I feel good about it.
It was a wise $2 investment.
How much was the game? How much is the game now? If you just bought it from Blizzard,
Battle Chest is still like $30 for some of the like the Diablo one, I think. That includes Diablo 1, Diablo 2, and then a lot of the expansions, I think. But I think World of Warcraft is similar.
What if some of the old copy protection came back? Do you remember some of the crazy ones they had where, well, let's see, Leisure Suit Larry, they had, they did their age check by giving you a quiz, and everyone just memorized the answers. Or
it was stuff that you'd only know if you were probably a little bit older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or there was, there were a lot of copy protections that would tell you to go into the manual and enter, it's on this page, the third word on blah, 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 blah. They would tell you that. So you'd have to use a manual. First of all, people would have to come up with manuals again. When's the last time you got a manual with the game?
That actually meant anything? God, I don't
probably
remember.
like a Super Nintendo game. Like it's been so long.
Yeah, I can remember getting maps with some like the Elder Scrolls games or something last generation. Really liked those. I miss really cool physical maps.
That's true.
But
They
it was
always
a
have
map.
like a poster or
That's
something.
true.
You know what I mean? Like
But actual manuals, man, it's been a while.
I remember with X-Wing, it was similar, but every page in the manual had like a different name of a planet that was written like in BASIC, like in the Star Wars script. And it's like when the game launched, it would show you like the script for the name of a planet. You'd have to look through your manual and be like, what planet is that? All right, Dantooine. And then you have to type in like Dantooine, and then it would let you launch the game. But eventually I lost the manual, even though I legally purchased the game. But I'd played X-Wing so much, I had memorized all of them. So it didn't matter anymore. I was like, all right, yeah, it's Yavin. Dantooine, whatever.
whatever. Dagobah, leave me alone.
Yeah, Dagobah was another one. It sucked, but whatever. That's what you did at the time.
You could pick up girls and be like, I don't even need an X-Wing manual. I know all the planets.
You like it now?
I had to make and then this is
Ladies.
way back in the day. I had to make a special boot disk whenever I wanted to play X-Wing to dedicate my RAM
Your
as
extended
EMS
RAM.
memory.
Yeah.
Right. That way I had
Because
like
DOS was stupid.
yeah. I was like, oh man, I was like, oh, I want to play X-Wing. I got to reboot my computer using this disk, and then my computer will have enough EMS to play
Yeah,
X-Wing.
well,
I
you
hate
had that
stuff
original
like that.
640K that was protected, and then you had the expanded RAM. What was it?
It was XMS, EMS,
Yes.
and there was one more I can't remember right now.
Because they couldn't think in numbers that big.
I had the same problem with, or it's a similar problem, when I wanted to play 7th Guest and 11th Hour because they ran in DOS, and then what was like Windows XP or whatever got rid of DOS, but it'd have a false DOS prompt, but that wouldn't fool the disk enough. So you had to like download a special program, and it was so annoying, and then finally you could play it.
I had back, it was, God, this was MechWarrior, the original MechWarrior, that was 3D. They sold a version later after computers had gotten a little bit smarter, and it came with a program that was specifically designed to make your computer stupider so that you could play it without, because they had no frame limiter on it, so it would just go, you'd turn it on without it, and you just fly across the map. Like everything you did would be at super speed. So they had a program that would just do like math problems to eat up part of your CPU.
Wow.
Slow it down.
Yeah,
It was
to
like-
literally occupy part of the CPU's cycle time so that you could play it at a normal speed. Like clock it down by making it do busy work.
That's really funny.
It worked for about 30 minutes at a time, and then all of a sudden everything would go back to fast. Like I guess it solved the problem.
Finished it. Yeah. All right.
You
Well,
ran out of problems to try and solve.
it's about time to wrap up.
Yeah.
So thank everyone
Man,
for watching.
that was a nostalgia-filled
It was
podcast.
a nostalgia-filled episode of The Patch, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right. Merry Christmas,
Happy
everybody.
holidays.